I'm currently in San Antonio, and what a momentous day this is, Mr. Secretary. This will undoubtedly be the easiest questioning that I offer in this session for sure. But what I wanted to do today was tell you thank you. It is with great pleasure that just a few hours ago on the tarmac of an Air Force base in San Antonio that we welcomed Trevor Reed back home to the United States. The very first time that I questioned you, I asked if you would be committed to doing everything in your power to bring him home, and you said yes. And every single time that we've talked, I've mentioned his name to you, and you've kept it at the forefront of your mind. I believe, and there's many people on the committee, Colin Allred and Joaquin Castro and other Texans, Sheila Jackson Lee, that have helped out on the other side of the aisle. And I believe all 435 representatives and every one of the 100 senators knows Trevor Reed, knows his story, understands the situation that he was in, and brought awareness to this. And I can't thank you, the SPEHA team, and your entire State Department for doing the right thing and ultimately putting patriotism over politics. And that's exactly what happened today. The reunification with his family was just tremendous. The joy on their face to see their son, obviously very worried about his health, and it's going to take some time to heal, to get back to good health. But his spirit is strong. He's a fighter. He's a survivor. And I think it's an important day in our country. I'm going to use this word again, patriotism over politics. And there's many issues that I'd like to bring up today, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead tell you thank you. I would ask that you tell President Biden thank you for putting patriotism over politics and doing the right thing to bring Trevor home. I can't imagine the tough decision that had to be made, but you made it, you did it, and he's home. And I'd just like to give you a couple of minutes to respond to that, and also to ask that we don't forget Paul Whelan and that we don't forget other people who are unlawfully incarcerated in other countries. We should leave no American behind. And it started with Trevor. I hope this momentum will continue. So, Mr. Secretary, over to you.
Congressman, first let me just say, right back at you. You and other colleagues have been relentless in working on, advocating for getting Trevor home. And your voice, your action, your engagement on this has been critical too, and I'm so glad that you were there to take part in the homecoming. And thank you for all of the engagement and effort that you've made over this long period of time. And it is gratifying to see that he's home. And I really also have to join you in praising the extraordinary work of Roger Carstens, who handles these issues for us and for the President. The State Department, our ambassador in Moscow, John Sullivan, and many others who worked on this, but finally and most importantly, President Biden, who made the decision to do this. But every American who remains arbitrarily detained anywhere around the world or held hostage remains on our minds and in our hearts, starting with Paul Whelan. And I want to commit to you and to every member of this committee that we will continue to be relentless in bringing every single one of them home. This is at the very top of my priority list. I have, in my judgment, a couple of almost sacred responsibilities. One is, of course, to look out for the men and women of my department, but the other is to do everything I possibly can to bring home Americans who, wherever they are around the world, may be arbitrarily detained or held hostage. So we will not relent in this, but again, to you, Congressman, thank you. Thank you for your partnership on this, but thank you for your leadership and everything you've done to make sure that we could get to this day.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, both of you have been instrumental in this. I appreciate your leadership and your voice. Trevor Reed is back on American soil. I'm proud to report that a Texan, a Marine, and a Patriot has returned home. With that, I yield back.